Let's go back a little bit. You're in your room in Pennsylvania. What was the decision? Why was LA the place?
You know, it just, they're really, in Philadelphia, it was a lot of the vocal groups, boys to men type of groups. There was not too much rock and roll at that time. There was rock and roll in Baltimore. However, New York really was a new wave kind of thing, was still hanging on at that time. In LA, Rat was coming out of there, Motley Crue, all those bands, you know what I mean? And it just made sense. This was fertile ground out here at that time. So plus it was warmer in the winter, so we just decided to give it a shot. You know, so we rolled the dice and it worked out.
Loaded up the van and headed out, huh?
Yeah.
That's great. And like I say, I go back all the way when you moved to Washington Boulevard there. I know it was, certainly wasn't rock and roll area, you know, heavily black, South Central. You know, what was your feeling when you first got to LA?
How you doing, buddy? It was weird because we drove downtown and we didn't know, but they just had the Christopher Street West Gay Parade, and we thought, this is Hollywood? No, let's go home. So we just, but then somebody said, no, this is not how it is every day of the week, all right? But yeah, so that was our first impression. Like, really? Seriously?
Now you guys, I know you were a marketing machine, flyers at all the shows, Country Club, Palladium, Whiskey, Troubadour. What were some of your highlights of those first shows where you really felt like we could probably do something here?
You know what? We didn't have a big following at first. It was, we had to scratch and claw for it. What we were doing, we were used to a different circuit, playing 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, 3-4 sets a night. And out here, you're playing 40 minutes, once a month. And we're like, how do you make a living doing that? So we would go in the outskirts and go do our top 40 and then go to Hollywood and play our original stuff. That's how we survived at the beginning. Most bands wouldn't, and then we hustled girls,
Yeah. Well, I remember it was an awkward time where obviously your original guitarist, Matt, I guess couldn't hang, had other things in mind.
He got his girlfriend pregnant.
Okay.
And it just wasn't the life for him, Okay. He just realized it was too hard on him, so... But for us, we just, I don't know, for some reason, we were just digging it more and more, Even though I had half of a closet that was this size that I shared with Fred. Right. Somehow I didn't care. We were having too much fun playing and, hanging out, meeting girls.
What was your favorite club back then? Because I met you at the Country Club. And
the Troubadour.
Troubadour was the spot?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the process like when Cece walked in the door? You had feelers out to the recycler, or how did you find him?
Oh, we put ads everywhere. Okay. We had 56 auditions, and he was number 56.
Slash came through?
Slash was audition 1. Wow.
Amazing.
Very crazy, yeah.
No, I remember the early days. It was very indie. It was Enigma Records. It was,
we were an independent band. We were an indie band.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd always be like that at one point. We didn't know that it was going to do what it did. We wanted it to, but we didn't know. We
remember Cry Tough was the first single, got a lot of resistance. I guess MTV was it, huh? Talk Dirty to Me on MTV, was that the
But our first video didn't get much, breakout rotation at 1 in the morning kind of thing. Yeah. That was Cry Tough. Yeah. But when Talk Dirty to Me hit, it really changed everything.
So your word to the young artists coming up, it's just believe in yourself, create something different, and stick to it? Is that kind of the formula? Never give up?
It's just be in it for the long haul. Yeah. Because it might happen in a year, it might happen in 10. And my biggest piece of advice is limit your debt when you're trying to make it. if you have a house and a wife and a this and a that and a car payment, but you're gonna have to go get a regular job. But the music ain't gonna do it for
So keep it streamlined and stay on the firing line?
Yeah, absolutely. And at one point you can't do it anymore, then just realize that you probably pushed that ship a little further out to sea.
Yeah.
It can happen, I'm not saying it can't, but you hedge your bet if you keep it lean. Keep your bags packed and keep renting by the month.
so in a sense, it's not about trying to hit the home run on the first pitch, but how many more times you keep coming to bat?
Yeah, if you just stay in the game and keep hammering out, it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's, if you treat it like it's, for a musician, you do have to treat it like a business, but at the same time, your headspace has to be, this is my lifestyle, this defines who I am. Whereas other jobs in the world may not define who you are. You sell carpet for a living, I doubt that defines you. There's probably other things. But when you're a musician, it does define you. And if it doesn't, then it is just a job, and everybody will see through it. It's not going to work out long.
So you got to do it for the love of it first.
Right.
And then hopefully the business kicks in at some point.
That's right. And you can make it work. Just be smart about it.
Yeah. Now coming up in the game, who were those drummers or bands that really did it for you?
Well, I mean, of course, I was influenced by the Beatles way back. My sister played those records, and I was exposed to that. But the first band that I called my own was Deep Purple.
Richie Blackmore.
Yeah. Ian Pace. Yeah.
Wow. That's great. Now, tell us a little about how you've come full circle now. And, you obviously still playing Poison, you still do your thing, but now we have Rockett Drumworks. What do you bring to the table? It's obviously a very competitive world out there. What is your niche?
Well, this is going to sound like a sales pitch, but I mean it. America invented the drum kit, and I plan on taking it back. Don't go anywhere.
Stay right here.
All right. Just doing this interview thing. Hold on, I'll be right here. Your hair looks good, by the way. America invented the drum kit, and I plan on taking it back. And the reason I say that is I'm making everything in America here. And I think that what we're offering, custom drums, limited series drums, things like that, make a drummer feel like they have more of an identity when they play our stuff than just what's off the peg at a store. And I really think that means a lot to a musician, and a drummer especially. We like our stuff. It doesn't matter if we change our pants every gig, we still have the same drum kit we got to get behind every night. So better represent that person, who they are. And that's what I try to keep in mind when I'm creating something for somebody. Yeah, or even if I don't even know who that's created for, I think about who might this end user be, Because you can look at a drum kit and go, that's a rock guy, that's a country guy, that's a jazz drummer. You can't do that necessarily with a Les Paul guitar. So it defines who we are.
That's great. And in closing, what is it about those songs you wrote back in the day that people still want to hear? Is it the soundtrack to their life? Do they want to relive their youth? Because obviously there's still a demand for you guys to go out and people to feel that music they grew up with. What is it about their songs?
I don't know that it's all about nostalgia. I think for some people it is, obviously. I had a girl come up to me and she said, "Would you sign my stretch marks because my kid was conceived to every rose?" I said, yeah, sure. But at the same time, I think other people think the fact that they're just good songs and they're catchy, and here it is 25 years later and they still hold up. And that
gives people a good feeling. You guys obviously put on a good show. There's a lot of bands standing around.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're good. It's very inspiring to know that I've inspired.